What I have here is a failed kitchen cabinet drawer, and I have to rebuild this. So I'm going to take the opportunity to show you a very strong, quick, and easy method to build drawers. But before I do, I want to talk about why this particular drawer has failed. The sides, the back, and the false front on this drawer are made of MDF. MDF is a very bad choice for drawer sides, especially in a kitchen environment. If this thing gets wet, it's pretty much destroyed. And also, it was just simply butt jointed together with some nails and glue. Glue on the end grain of MDF really isn't the greatest of connections, and just regular brad nails. I don't really prefer brad nails for something like this. Something that's going to be moved constantly like a drawer. I want a little bit more of a mechanical connection like a screw. Another reason you shouldn't use MDF for the drawer sides is if you cut this little groove in here for the bottom to sit in, MDF doesn't really offer much strength as far as the pressure going this way on the drawer. And as you can see here, this is pretty much cracked and opened up. And also on this other piece, it is pretty much gone. Regular hardboard was used for the drawer bottom here. Hardboard is pretty much compressed cardboard, and that is not going to hold up over time, not substantially anyway. So I recommend using either a 5mm hardwood plywood or like a 1/4 inch pine plywood. For my drawer sides, I'm going to use some 1/2 inch plywood that I happen to have laying around. I just cut both my sides, the false front and the back. Now the plywood I'm using is a little bit less than perfect. Every one of these has a slight bow to it, and I've positioned them so that the bow is on the inside of the piece. And that'll do a little bit better job holding on to the bottom panel over time. Now when you size your pieces here, make sure that the side pieces run your full length and the false front and the back sit on the inside of both of your side pieces. Now we're ready to cut the bottom groove in both sides and the front only, not the back piece. I'm about to cut a dado for the bottom panel, and I've got the blade set to about half the thickness of my workpiece. Now I've got the top of my workpiece up against the fence and the bottom away from the fence, and the reason being is I'm going to cut this dado by just moving the fence slightly until I get the perfect width for the thickness of my bottom panel. And once I've reached my last cut, I can raise the blade and cut the back piece so that it is absolutely perfect to slide the bottom panel underneath. I have all my pieces upside down so that the bottom side is up. Now this groove that I cut for the bottom panel, you can see it in the front, but that's okay because this is a false front drawer system and you're going to cover all this with another piece. Now because this is a false front drawer system, we're going to put this together with pocket hole screws, and we'll put the pocket holes on the outside of the front and on the outside of the back. And that way from the inside you will never see any fasteners, and the pocket holes in the front will be covered up by the false front, and pocket holes in the back, you will never be able to see them unless you take the entire drawer completely out. Now the back was cut off at the same height as the groove right here, and that's because once this is put together, I can slide my bottom panel in right on top of this back piece and just screw it down here in the back. Just cut a piece of 1/4 inch plywood to use as the bottom, and the advantage of putting the bottom in after assembly is that if this bottom panel decides to break again, you can just unscrew it and install a new bottom panel. And now I can just put some screws in this back piece. With the structure of the drawer complete, we're going to hide these pocket holes in the false front by attaching it directly to whatever material you are going to use as the drawer front. In my case, I have to reuse this ugly piece of painted MDF. When I first started getting interested in woodworking, I was under the impression that if it's not dovetails, then it's pretty much crap when it comes to drawers. And that couldn't be further from the truth. There are hundreds and hundreds of ways to make good quality drawers. I hope you found this method a little bit less intimidating than others. I use it 99 times out of 100 to make all of my drawers, and I've never had a failure so far. So thanks for watching, guys, and have a great day.